In the previous recording, we talked about all the categories. So the green card eligibility categories, which are through family, employment, special immigrant, refugees or asylum or asylee status, human trafficking and crime victims, victims of abuse, other categories, and registry. Now, in this recording, we'll focus on the first one, which is through family. Now, to be qualified to apply through family, here are the following criteria or eligibility requirements that you'd have to meet. You'd have to be one, a spouse of a U.S. citizen, an unmarried or single child under the age of 21 of a U.S. citizen. You can also be a parent of a U.S. citizen who is at least 21 years old. Now that falls under the subcategory which is listed as immediate relatives of a U.S. citizen. The other category under family is other relatives of a U.S. citizen or relatives of a lawful permanent resident or under the family-based preference category. So that is other relatives of a U.S. citizen or relatives of a lawful permanent resident under the family-based preference category. So in order to meet those criteria, to be eligible for this section, you'd have to be a family member of a U.S. citizen, meaning you are the unmarried or single son or daughter of a U.S. citizen and you are 21 years or older. You are married son or daughter of a U.S. citizen. Your brother or your sister is a U.S. citizen, or you are a brother or sister of a U.S. citizen who is at least 21 years old. You're a family member. You are a family member of a lawful permanent resident, meaning you are the spouse of a lawful permanent resident. You are an unmarried child under the age of 21 of a lawful permanent resident, unmarried son or daughter of a lawful permanent resident, 21 years or older. And then there's another category which is a fiancé of a U.S. citizen or a fiancé's child. So under this section, you're the person admitted to the U.S. as a fiancé of a U.S. citizen, which is K1 non-immigrant status. That's the visa classification. For fiancé is K1. So you can be a person admitted to the U.S. as a fiancé of a U.S. citizen, which is a K1 non-immigrant status, or a person admitted to the U.S. as a child of a fiancé of a U.S. citizen. In this classification for the child, it's a K2 non-immigrant visa. Widow or widower of a U.S. citizen and you were married to your U.S. citizen spouse at the time your spouse died. So that's another category. And then the last one under the families category is the VAWA self-petitioner victim of battery or extreme cruelty. And in order to qualify for this, you'd have to be the abused spouse of a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident. So that is abused child under the age of 21 years old of a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident. The last section here is abused parent of a U.S. citizen. So those are the individual classifications of visa application categories within the family option. So you can apply for permanent resident status using any of the ones we've listed above under family.